Surprise! I don't know.
Hello.
I don't know if we talked about going live today, but here we are. We are live right now in the 101 group. Hopefully, you all are around and can join us. We promise we'll be live more often for you guys, so we can make sure everybody out there can have some time with us. We love talking with everybody out there. I see Matt in the comments. Hello, hello. I see you got your privacy settings fixed, Matt, so we can now see you. For those of you who might be new to the group or just haven't seen one of these before, I am Dan, and with me, as always, is Angela over here. And we are part of the customer experience team at Switcher Studio, and we're here to answer your questions. We are both longtime Switcher users, longtime Switcher employees, and we've got it. You guys might have questions. We've got some answers for you. So please, if you have questions, you can comment those below. Let me get rid of these lower thirds really quick and put up ask your questions in the comments, because I want people to see that and know that the goal here today is for you all to get some questions answered. So please ask those in the comments. We'll be happy to answer them. As we've been do these, what we like to do is, obviously, like, everyone doesn't join immediately. You might come in later. So we want to make sure we get a good list of questions. We always like to cover a topic first. This is going back to the basics. Switcher Studio, the name Switcher comes from being able to switch cameras or switch angles. That's what we're talking about today. Right, Angela?
Yeah, for sure. So, this is something we get all the time in support is, how can I add cameras? What kind of cameras can I use? So I'm going to give you a rundown of what you can use and in what capacity, kind of how you can connect them, why you would use them. And of course, the quickest, easiest ones are going to be your iOS cameras. So
Hey,
that's going to be,
before we get into that, Angela, sorry. Before we get into the meat and bones here, I just want to also add. I like to ask a question before we get going too far into this. So I'm going to ask you two questions here. First, tell us where you're watching from. Put that in the comments. Let us know. And also, since we are talking about bringing in multiple cameras on your streams, if you're using more than one, let us know. Let us know what you're using, like what sort of cameras are you using, and how many devices are you using to stream. Let us know in the comments as well. So questions in the comments. Let us know where you're watching, and how many devices you're using to stream. So I'm going to let Angela take it away. First, let me put up this
yeah,
little title here that tells us
a little
what can
cheat
be.
sheet.
Yeah, what can be used. Like, if you just want to see one part and know the answer, it's basically this: iOS devices. You can bring in screen sharing, and then we have Switcher Studio video chat. So today we're going to be mainly covering the iOS device portion and the screen sharing. We'll also tell you some cool ways to do that. And the video chat, if you want more information on that, check out the live video we did, our last live video, because that covers this topic totally, how to do everything with it. So be sure to check that out. But Angela, let's get back to you and talking about those iOS devices.
Yeah, so iOS devices, you've got your iPhones, you've got your iPads, basically anything that's on ideally iOS 14. You can still use iOS 13 for the time being, and you'll be able to install Switcher Studio on those devices and bring them in as remote cameras. So, of course, your main switching device has to be iOS. A lot of people use iPad for that, but you can use an iPhone as well. And total, you can have up to 9 camera sources connected. So, when we're talking about these different things today, you can mix and match to get your total of 9. And it's easy to bring in different camera sources. They just have to be on the same network. So most people, that's going to be a private Wi-Fi network. So your office, your home, anything like that. If you have a mobile data hotspot, that's pretty strong, and you're in an area with a lot of data connection, you can bring that in as well. You can also use Ethernet. That's really popular for, conferences and convention halls where there's not a lot of really strong Wi-Fi, and there's too many people to really get good data. You can also use Ethernet. So you can connect any iOS 14 or for the time being 13 device by doing that. And again, you'll just open the inputs tab on your main switching device. You'll see the name of those devices and you can add them. Now, one question we do get in support is, do I need a subscription for each device? You do not. You're only going to need your active subscription for the first one. That's going to be your main switching device. Everything else you don't sign in. You're not supposed to sign in. Bad things happen if you sign into multiple things. You just make sure they're on the same network and you're good to go. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is screen sharing. So
hey, before we get into that, let me just shout out some comments. I just see people commenting from all over. I see Will in here. Hey, I've been putting these up on screen for everybody. I see someone said, "Somebody catch me up. I'm late for service."
You're at the start.
We don't worry, you're not too late. We're just talking about different devices you can use as camera sources in Switcher. So this is kind of what we're covering. Angela just talked all about the iOS devices. Is that first bit? Of course, you can bring in and have cameras. That's actually what I'm doing right now. So the built-in camera on my iPad, I don't like looking right down at it. Even though I'm looking down when I'm checking comments and stuff. But my camera's right up here. I have my this is what do I have? A 10s, an iPhone 10s is what I'm using. So yeah, that's just want to show you and talk about Angela. I think kind of covered there. I was reading a bunch of comments, so I didn't listen to everything she said, but I'm pretty sure, Angela, correct me if I'm wrong, but you told some people how and why you would do them. I heard about the Ethernet and all that good stuff, so I'm sure Angela got it covered. Yeah, next one's screen sharing. I love screen sharing. I love using this for all sorts of things. So I'm gonna let Angela the first kind of go through how and what screen sharing is and the different options for it, and then we can talk about some ways to use it as well.
Yeah, so screen sharing, like Dan just mentioned for his project, screen sharing's a huge thing for me that I like to use. Tongue twister today. So this is basically bringing in the display of another source as a camera source. So this is going to be your Macs, your PCs, and other iOS devices. So if you're trying to bring in something like a PowerPoint or show website navigation or anything like that, a lot of people use games. Now, there is additional audio stuff that needs to get set up to bring the audio of a game over. That's another topic for another day, but you can do stuff like that too.
Hey, what about that PowerPoint? How about this one that I was using the other day?
Yeah, bringing in PowerPoints and stuff. So that's one of the most common reasons people will use screen sharing, is to show PowerPoints for education or worship or anything like that. And again, the setup is pretty easy. You're going to need everything to be on the same network. So that's your Wi-Fi or your data or your Ethernet. Same, kind of qualifications as before. Most people are going to use that private Wi-Fi network. And then as long as, the device you want to screen share is on the same device, you can bring it in. Now, there is a little bit of setup to do with those. I won't go into too many details, but there is a program we have called Switchercast. You can download it from your dashboard at dashboard.switcherstudio.com. It's complimentary with the service, and you can install that on your Mac or on your PC. Now, for your PC, you have to be using Windows 10. Mac, I forgot what the oldest Mac OS is, but we do, of course, recommend being on the newest Mac OS for best results. For bringing in iOS devices, all you have to do is, it's a little kind of modification to the screen recording feature that already comes with your device. So there's nothing to install with that. And then just as you saw Dan do right now with his PowerPoint, you can bring that over. A little quick trick that you can do. Right now we've got a 3-up. A lot of people, when they first get started, will full screen everything. Remember, you can use multi-view effects with this. So you can do a split screen or a 3-up like we have, or picture-in-picture is a common one we see. That's one of the most popular I personally do. I put my face in a corner and leave the rest really big. But remember, when you're screen sharing, you can use multi-view effects, and it goes to your total of up to 9. So if you're doing a production with let's say 3 iOS cameras and you need to bring in a PowerPoint, that's just number 4. You don't have to reduce your camera load at that point.
Yep. Yeah, my favorite one to do if I'm doing a PowerPoint is something like this. I really like this one, especially if I'm presenting online to people. It just gives that nice look. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I liked Will in there said it's really great for Switchercast is really great for lyrics and scriptures for church. I think that's a great example of it working. Cool, yeah. So that's Switchercast. Did you talk about iOS screen sharing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we
We
did.
mentioned that one with the screen recording. Basically, what you do when I say you have to mod it a little bit is, of course, if you're doing a screen recording on iOS, you tap the screen record button and it does its job. It records the screen. To do Switchercast with that, you need to do a long hold. So instead of a tap, you actually hold down, and it's going to give you options. One will say Switchercast. If you don't see it, just scroll with your finger. A lot of people don't see it's because it's toward the bottom. And then it's going to allow you to connect it, again, as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi or hotspot or Ethernet connection.
Yeah, my favorite ways that we use Switchercast all the time, or iOS screen sharing, I should say, are doing things like this and having. So I just have a second iPad here that's running Switcher, so it's great for product demos. Another one I see a lot, and these are just different multi-views I have set up for it, is something like this, and have an iPhone screen shown. So this could be great for like a Twitter feed. If you wanted to show that stuff off, or if you're playing a mobile game, you could put it up there. A lot of different options there. Cool.
Yeah, one little hack that I always recommend, how Dan just had that up on the screen, is without going too complex into it of how to set up comments. A lot of people want to bring in their comments to a stream, and you can post them on your stream the way we've been doing today if you're on standard or plus. But for people who are on essentials and are using Facebook, or if you're streaming to another platform where you can't pin comments, such as Twitch or something, if you bring in your iOS device with iOS screen sharing, if you pull up your stream and you can see the comments, you can screen share it in and just scroll through the comments like that. So that's a nice little hack I've seen people do for a lot of their streams, especially the ones that we don't have the on-screen pinned comments for. Those are Facebook exclusive.
So yeah, let me put up this title here again and talk about. We'll just do a brief recap. iOS devices are great if you're on the same Wi-Fi network. Screen sharing works really well for on iPads. Sorry, I got really mixed up there a second ago, Angela. I was looking. I've got the stream playing on one of my monitors here, and I see Angela. She's like waving her hands, talking, and I'm like, can she not hear? Is she muted? What's going on? So I just completely messed with my brain. All right, cool. So yeah, iOS device is great for just adding extra different angles to your productions. Screen sharing is really good for showing things like scripture, PowerPoints. You can play videos through it, but I just bring videos in through the pre-recorded way. Again, like showing off apps, showing a Twitter feed or comments is great for the screen sharing. And then video chat, as I mentioned, our past live stream was all about video chat. It has all that information there. So if you want to see that, definitely check that one out. I see, I do want to get to questions now, so let me put this back up there to let you all know to please ask those questions in the comments. I do remember looking through this and seeing someone ask about Android and using Android phones. You can technically use an Android phone as a camera and switcher. You just have to set it up through video chat. The direct connections and running as the main switcher is all iOS based. I saw Chris had a post. I'd love to put this comment up on screen, but it's a little bit too long. He says he's watching from Fargo, North Dakota first. Hopefully it's not freezing cold up there. I know it gets cold up there all the time, but he was talking about using the Ceremonic blinks and had a small issue where the audio was choppy. My best guess, Chris, if it's not repeatable, is it's probably the you might have gotten too far away from the two devices and it dropped out a little bit. The batteries might have been a little low. I've seen that happen. If not, tag Jared or ask Jared. He uses one a lot too. And if you run into a problem, that's Jared Howell, one of our other team members. But he uses the Blink 500 a lot too and enjoys it. So he might have some troubleshooting tips for you as well. Let me scroll through, find some other ones. Here, I saw a couple of ones. Yeah, MacBook Pro as the main switcher. Right now, it's just iOS is what you use. Our goal with switchers to make it very portable and ease of use. So right now, it's just using iPads and iPhones as the main switcher. I don't want to say that it's possible. I know like the way that Mac OSs are going, apps are going to start being available. Right now, the way our app goes, it's still probably not possible, but possibly in the future. Again, like I don't think it's happening anytime soon, but it could. A switcher might run on a Mac at some point, just not very soon.
Yeah, always keep an eye out to our user groups and to our emails. Like Dan said, nothing on the roadmap right now for that, but we let you guys know of all new features as soon as they're released. So always look for those, app update posts that we make. As whenever something like that becomes possible, we'll let you guys know immediately, and we normally go live to announce that as well.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good question. Is there a way a live stream can be saved straight to the iCloud once we finish the stream? So if you stream somewhere, it will be archived and saved onto that. It won't be automatically uploaded. Switcher won't do that. But you can go in and find that recording and upload that somewhere if you would like to. So I can show you here. Again, we're talking about devices. So let me go 1, 2, 3.
Screen sharing.
Yeah, and let me remove that one so you can see. So in the upper left-hand corner is where I can go into my recordings, and we'll just pick one here. If I tap on one, there's the arrow with the box, and you can open. So you can send this to the photo library, and from there it'd be easy to upload to the iCloud or wherever you wanted to. Open in will allow you to airdrop it if you wanted to. So if you have a Mac as well, you can airdrop it and then get it to Google Drive or Dropbox. I believe, honestly, open in, you can, immediately right there send it to Drive as well. So a lot of different options there. But that's how you are going to manage your videos after you're done being live. And do you want to talk to this one, adding more than one guest on video chat? Will it be possible?
Yeah, so currently it's possible depending on which plan you're on. So if you're using a trial or if you're on Essentials, you can have one guest at a time on video chat. So the way you're seeing us right now, I'm Dan's guest. That's how you can do it on trials and Essentials. If you have standard, you can have up to 2 simultaneous guests at a time. So you'd be able to bring another person in up on the screen for like a 3-up. If you're on our plus plan, which is our enterprise plan, you can have up to 5. So you can technically have 6 people going at the same time. Now, kind of a not a teaser, but just something that has been discussed is maybe in the future adding more seats. Right now, there's no details on any kind of timeline or anything, but it is something that's come up in conversation. So again, keep an eye on the groups and stuff. If we ever make, an upgrade to how many seats are on a plan, we'll let you guys know. But one thing to remember that a lot of users don't know is it goes for simultaneous. So let's say you were on Essentials, you had me in as a guest. If you wanted to bring in someone else and you were done with me, just have me leave, send the link to your next person, you can bring them in. So there's no limit to how many people can be brought in on a single live broadcast. It's just limiting at a time, 1 for Essentials, 2 at a time for standard, and 5 at a time for plus.
Yeah, that's great. And, the other question here, is there a way to monitor the sound wired while using an iRig? Most iRigs will have a headphone port, so you can plug into it. If you're not hearing anything after you plug into, make sure you have audio monitoring enabled. I'll show you where you can find that here. So down here at the very bottom right, there's all these icons getting to the different settings. So the waveform one that looks like audio, you'll want to turn audio monitoring on if it's not, and that way you can hear it. I see Will got in there as well, saying plug your headphones in. Here's a great question for video chat, Angela. Do your guests have to have Switcher Studio downloaded?
Not at all.
Not at all. Yep.
Yeah, all you have to do is send them the link. We recommend, if you can, sending them the link in advance, or just copying it through email or something. Once they click on that, they'll open it and be good to go. Now, the only thing I do want to caution on is, each kind of device you're using does need to be up to date. If they're on a really outdated device, that can cause some issues. Also, there's different browsers that are compatible with video chat for different devices. So for instance, if your guest wants to use their iPhone, they need to use the Safari app. They can't use, the Chrome app or the Firefox app. It needs to be opened with Safari. And the easiest thing I always do is not only sending them the link ahead of time, but if you go in our help center, which is support.switcherstudio.com, search video chat and open that article, scroll to the bottom. We have this nice little chart in there that shows what devices can be used with what browsers. I always send my guests that chart ahead of time, so that way they know, okay, if I wanted to use this device, I need this browser. And that way you're not scrambling last minute to figure out, why something isn't working. That way they go into it knowing what browser they need to have pulled up and installed.
Great. Yeah, that explains it very well. Pume. Another good one here. Will you ever allow multitasking? Yeah, this is losing the last word of this comment shuts down is what we're talking about here. Yeah, just the way that we connect the cameras, it has to be in the foreground Switcher Studio. So I know it is one of those scary things, but it is just the way that it is right now. Possibly in the future, but right now it's just the way we connect cameras to make sure everything's stable and well. That has to be up in front. Barbara's asking, could you explain voice mode? Kind of. What I might need to do, or maybe what I'll do, Barbara, is have Jared make a quick video and post it into the group, because he is much better about that than I am. I believe that voice mode is going to help with the echo cancellation and stuff. So if you aren't using headphones, it's going to just allow the Apple processing to just help cancel out, so your audience isn't going to hear an echo throughout everything. Try it with and without, and just see which one's working better for you. Do it with a test stream, but that's a big topic and something I would like to get Jared in to do a better question or better explanation, because I know I'm not going to do it justice. But thank you for that question. Great. Well, calling Jared. Here we go. Yeah, we'll just get Jared in. Should I Slack him and see if he's around? Hold on.
Let's never hurts. He might be free.
I'm literally sending him a message right now, saying we're live in the 101 group and someone has a voice mode question. Can you join? I know he's kind of all over the place, so he might not be around right now. Let's see if he's on. Maybe. Oh, he just said, I just tuned in. Let's see. Doing this live, trying to be as agile as possible. Now I need to get the thing to him if he will. Angela, tell him about something fun with Switcher. What's your favorite bit of Switcher Studio while I do this?
My favorite bit. Let me see if I can
Putting you
kind
on
of
the
kind of
spot
related to
immediately.
this. I know. Well, kind of to keep it related, one thing that's really cool that I recommend to people, Dan mentioned the hack where you can use an Android camera if you bring it in with video chat. Another thing that I always recommend with video chat is if you're like, you don't need a guest, but you're like, oh, I need a live view of like this event, like this sporting event, but I'm at my house. If you can have someone do video chat, you can bring in a camera from anywhere
Hey,
and
you know
bring
what
them in
else you
like
can
that.
do as
You
far
can bring in
as bring
Jared.
as far as camera? Let me get a better multi view for all four of us. Or it's just three of us. What am I doing? Cancel. Jared to the rescue. Hello, can you hear us? Do the
Yes.
Zoom
Howdy,
thing.
friend.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. Jared, I still don't fully understand voice mode. Please save me.
Yeah, no, that was funny. I just happened to click play right as you were like, she asked what voice mode is, and I was about to type like, I got you. But yeah, it's so voice mode is tricky. And I'm sure no matter what answer I give, one of our development team is somewhere rolling their eyes at me because there's no way to describe it without oversimplifying it. But the thing that a Switcher user needs to know is that you only need voice mode if you're using video chat with just kind of vocal mics. It's not great if you have any kind of USB mixer, USB interface, anything like that. But video chat, if you're using the built-in microphone on your iPad, it kind of optimizes your voice for everything. So it does processing similar to like what you hear on a Zoom call. If you've ever been on a Zoom call and you notice your room noise is all gone all of a sudden and things like that, it kind of optimizes things for that setup and also stops echo. So when your video chat guest talks and it's coming out of your iPad speakers, it stops that from going back into your iPhone or iPad mic and causing an audio loop. And then the other thing it does is to use Bluetooth headphones, you used to have to go into the settings app and enable a setting called allow Bluetooth HFP. And you no longer have to do that. You can just turn on voice mode and it'll force your iOS device to use the microphone in your Bluetooth earbuds or headphones. So I hope that helps.
Very much.
Yeah.
I'm probably still gonna have to ask you every single time it comes up. But thanks for joining. I mean, stick around if you want to hang out for a few more questions here.
Sure, why not? I'm here.
Yeah, just answer blitz mode here. Answer a few. Green screen. Can you use green screen? Screen sharing will allow you to, so I recommend running iOS screen sharing, and an app like Vscope will work, and then you can bring in the video that way. I think that works really well. Lisa's asking about depth of field. That's a really interesting thing. So you can actually pull the focus in and out. The best way to get that with iPhones and iPads is first get the newest device you can for that, because it's going to have the best focal lengths. And then get as much distance between you and the backdrop or the point of interest, what you want to be in focus, and have it have more depth between you and that, and you're going to get a much more blurred out background, and it's going to look awesome. And lighting helps a whole bunch as well, if you can get lighted up from the front a lot more. Cool. Yeah, I see people coming in. Those are the big ones, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, we had just mentioned how easy it is to bring in people with video chat. So this was a perfect timing, kind of great demonstration of how quick and easy it is. You send a link, you're good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you, Matt, for putting that in there. It's Vscope, VEE, Victor Echo Echo. I see everybody coming in. Lisa says, I'm actually trying to eliminate blur. Yeah, have you done the focus? Here, let me... Sorry, guys, I'm going to get rid of both of you for a second. I'm going me and just my iPad. I don't have any devices connected to that. but you have the focus down here, and that's going to bring up a slider for you, and just use that to get the blurry down. It also could be that the device that you're using is too dark, or the setting is too dark, so lighting up the video can help get rid of the blur as well. Here's another question for headphone or for voice mode, from Rob Jared. Says, so with voice mode on, your Bluetooth headphones are good. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so when you turn voice mode on, it will let you use your Bluetooth headphones. Whether or not the microphone in those Bluetooth headphones is good is going to be totally situational. I will be on, I tend to be brutally honest about these things. You'll get much better sound out of $20 Apple earbuds from Target than you will out of $150 AirPods from Apple. The microphone is much better in the wired headset. Don't know why, but that tends to be the general consensus among all Bluetooth earbuds. You're going to get much better sound out of a hardwired headset. So keep that in mind. But I mean, if it's great if you need to be wireless and you're going to be doing a lot of voice calls and things like that, or just interviews. So yeah.
Great, guys. I think we're caught up on the comments there, and I know I can't be on forever today. I had to cut it a little bit short, so cool. Yeah, thank you for everybody for tuning in for this quick kind of. Yeah, I know we didn't really promote this one as much, but I'm glad to see a whole bunch of people tuning in and chatting with us. Angela, thank you for your expertise as always, and Jared, you as well, coming in clutch at the last minute to answer questions. So yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.